Hey guys, so I had a pretty awesome dream that I wanted to quickly share. This is like my third time I've attempted to record this, and I don't have a whole lot of storage on my phone, so I'm going to try to spit this out fairly quickly. So here's what happened. I had a dream, and in the beginning of the dream, I am working on something on a computer, and I have somebody kind of sitting behind me, like looking over my shoulder at what I'm doing. And as I'm working on this, I come to an understanding that basically I know in my dream that my computer has been remotely hijacked. And there are things coming up on the computer. I don't know exactly what it was, but in my dream it was bad. It was something super inappropriate, like a level that would get you fired from a job. Like, it was very bad. And I'm telling this person who's watching what I'm doing, I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I would never do that. And this doesn't belong to me. I'm telling you, somebody is, remotely controlling my laptop. And I know that the person that I'm trying to explain this to doesn't believe a word I'm saying. They're like, right, I bet. And I am just like sobbing because I'm not being believed. I feel super persecuted. It feels very much like an injustice, and in my dream I had a sense that it was tied to my spiritual and faith system beliefs type deal. Being a Christian, I felt like it was linked to that I was being kind of targeted for that. So I've had other dreams like this where I'm basically kind of being persecuted, and that was the sense that I got in this dream, was that I was being targeted by an outside source. It was out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it. I wasn't believed, and it was a very awful feeling. And so I'm sobbing, I'm crying, and I just kind of give up and walk away. So then it cuts to a new scene, and I bump into this person that I haven't seen in years and years. This is a person that I have kind of long held a grudge against. It's for a good reason that I've been mad about this person. However, I have been praying recently and asking God to help me to forgive not only them, but any person in my life or in my past that I've held hard feelings against. And in this dream, I ran into this person, and they walk up to me. They're kind of giving me like an update on their life, telling me about their family. Not necessarily like mentioning anything that happened with us, but kind of, I guess, in a roundabout way, maybe a little apologetic without overtly being like, I'm so sorry. They kind of were apologetic. But in the dream, even though I don't get like an outright apology, I'm just kind of like interested in their family, and I find myself forgiving them. And so towards the end of this scene, we kind of hug it out and go our separate ways, and I have this like sense of relief that I don't have to hold on to that anger anymore, and I'm actually happy for them that they're happy, etc. So then I cut to a new scene, and I'm now driving down the highway on a major highway, maybe like 4, maybe even 5 lanes, like huge highway. I'm in a vehicle with girls that I went to high school with. And these girls, one of them is telling me that I had written something in her yearbook in high school, way back in high school, that not only she had been offended by, but her entire family had been offended by this, whatever I had written in her yearbook. And I was like, what? And then she tells me kind of, what it was. And I'm like, whoa, I did not mean it the way that you took it. I would never, try to hurt you. And I have this like knowing that what I had written was probably slightly inappropriate, as far as I was a young, probably dumb teenager who was a little bit cocky. And it just wasn't thoughtful, but it wasn't intended how it had been taken. So anyway, I apologized to her, and I'm like, I am so sorry that this hurt you, that this hurt your family, and that would never be my intention, and please forgive me. And she forgives me, and I have a huge sense of relief that she is forgiving me, and I feel so much better. And then the cool part of the dream, we're still driving, and it's dark, kind of dark outside, And it's like this ominous sense that like we know something is going on. It's not like panic or like, you know, we're afraid we're going to die, but it's just like we know something either like in the world or in the US, like something isn't right, and we know that, like there's an awareness. And I'm just like, just be calm, drive careful. And as we're driving, I look up into the sky and I don't know if you've ever seen like oil spilled on wet pavement, and you can see like all different colors, almost like a rainbow. I look up in the sky and I see something that looks like that, almost like oil spreading out over the sky. But the colors are beautiful. It's like yellow and green and purple, almost like the Northern Lights. And that has been in the news lately because the Northern Lights, I guess, have been like the most remarkable Northern Lights that people have ever seen. And I saw a picture like a day or two after the stream of the Northern Lights, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what my dream looked like. But then I also see superimposed on all of the colors of the spreading Northern Lights looking colors, I see a constellation that I know to be the bull. I just know it's Taurus, and I'm not into astrology. I'm interested in astronomy from a biblical perspective, and I have listened to Mark Carell, has some really amazing sermons. He is somebody who is an astronomer, like he studied that in college, and now he's a pastor. Studying astronomy basically changed his life and opened his eyes to God, is how I understand it. But he has a great series on astronomy and how that is biblical. But anyway, I know I'm looking at this constellation and I know it to be Taurus. I'm like, that's a bull, that's Taurus, and that's about as far as my knowledge of that went. But then I'm like, guys, Jesus is coming. He's coming. He's here. Oh, we're going home. And everyone in the car like erupts into cheering. We are all thrilled and excited. And at that point, I begin kind of like personally communing with God. And I'm like, Jesus, take me. I can't wait to see you. And just like kind of crying. And I begin to feel my body become weightless. And in that instant, I'm like, this is it. Here we go. And it was just the most incredible feeling that words just don't exist to describe it. And when I wake up from this dream, I am literally like tingling from head to toe. And I can feel like electricity in my body. I can see sparkles in my eyes. I had a hard time opening my eyes, but with my eyes closed, I'm just seeing like sparkles. It was incredible. I mean, it's just like one of those life-changing dreams. And I've had a couple of dreams, and they've all been a little bit different. I think I'm going to make another video to I've come to some understandings about the dreams that I've had that I feel like God has led me to. And I'm going to make another video to kind of break that down maybe a little bit. Anyway, so this dream was just so phenomenal. And I woke up, and sometimes I'm not like, I don't know what this part of the dream means and what that means. The one thing I looked up is what dates Taurus, because that was very specific, what dates Taurus was, and that's like April, May. Taurus coincides with April, May. So I'm going to be watching, not saying the route. I'm not setting dates. I'm not setting any dates, but I don't know if this signifies that something big is going to happen astronomically this year in that time frame, or whether an event that God wants us to watch for other than the rapture. Who knows, what exactly God showed me, but I feel like he gave me that timeline. And so anyway, the other thing was that I understood this to have some meaning. So the first part of the dream, I'm trying to do work and I'm being persecuted. And I think that this just represents the church right now. Like, we're trying to get our work done. We're trying to share. We're trying to be diligent and effective in what we do. And I think the persecution is going to increase. And we need to be ready for that and aware. But I think it's important not to give up. In my dream, I kind of gave up and was crying. And I think, that's maybe God talking to me like, don't give up. And then the second part of the dream, or maybe theme of the dream, is forgiveness. And this is a big reason why I'm sharing this video, because I really hate seeing myself on camera and uploading these videos. Christians, you have to forgive, okay? I know I'm talking to somebody out there who needs to hear this message. If there is somebody that you can't forgive, you have to try to forgive that person. I think that this is critical, and it's a reason why true believers, I think, could potentially get left behind. I'm not condemning anyone. I'm saying examine your heart, and if you have a hardened heart towards somebody, you have to forgive in order to be forgiven. So I know I struggle with it. A lot of people struggle with it. You need to pray and ask for help, and God will help you. He is faithful. And pray for that person that you're angry at. Pray for them, because praying for people changes your heart towards them. So, you know, I had to forgive, and then to receive forgiveness in my dream, you know, felt amazing. So forgive and ask for forgiveness, and prepare your hearts from that standpoint, I think, is super important as we get closer to Jesus' return. And then the last part of the dream is that after we go through all these trials, He is coming back. He is coming back so soon, and it's going to be amazing. And you don't want to miss it, and you don't want to be left here. So please get your hearts right with Jesus, because He loves you. And He wants to be with all of us, not just some of us. I think He is grieved for those of us who have fallen away. So talk to your loved ones, share with them, don't give up. And the most cool part about all of this is I asked God for confirmation. I dreamed this dream on February 22nd, and the timestamp was 2:53 a.m. I looked up the Greek Strong's meaning for 2:53 is basically like to be free from grief. And how accurate is that? Like, we're going to be free from grief so soon, because Jesus is coming back, and He's going to wipe away all of our tears. And there will be no more sorrow and no more pain, and we are going to spend forever knowing love of our Father. So please prepare your hearts and minds and talk to the people that you love. Our work isn't done here yet. Until, you know, that trumpet sounds, we are here, and we are to occupy and redeem this time and tell every single person that we love to get right with the Lord. So I am so excited and encouraged, and I hope that this helps all of you. God bless you all. Love you. Bye.